everybody, Justina from the Arts College, and welcome back to the new start of our terms. And I want to specifically focus on this video about answering questions that are at the back of our mind, and we tend to, I suppose, not really appreciate or reflect on this question. And it is, what is a confident artist, and why is it important to make mistakes when learning? Now, please remember, I have absolutely no disrespect to schools or education, because I understand that, it's a part of a life process. And obviously some people choose to home educate, but at the end of the day, everybody is still in a learning mindset of learning something to have an outcome. So that's how I'm going to rather word it, as opposed to saying schools and learning education. Now, a bit of a backstory with me. When I was in school, I really suffered with actually being able to read large paragraphs. If I had to write exams and write these large, huge exams and with 50 marks, I'd get 5 to 10 if I was lucky. I'd freeze. I could not even connect letters and words. And I discovered a way to obviously start learning, because I couldn't read from left to right. And on top of that, I was in a different country, or the area of the country did not speak English. So I only had English textbooks to go on, and I had a teacher speaking a complete different language, which meant I could not understand a word. The only way I could get around this was by developing a new way to learn, and that came in picture. So what I would do is I would mind map and draw little pictures to help me get everything and understand exactly what it was all about. And that's how I got through it. Yet there were some parts that I still lacked in confidence. Now, the thing is, when I started actually my art journey, I noticed that I wanted everything to be perfect. So I noticed, like with my mum, because she was a very skilled artist, I would compare myself and go, well, I'm not as good as you, or I can't draw like you, or I can't do this like you. But I wouldn't remember the time she would sit up till 12, 2, 3, 4 in the morning practicing or doing art. And it was repetition that helped her obviously build skill and get used to the medium, to be comfortable with it. So if it was watercolor paints and I'd used it for the first time, I was going, I have to know how to draw and paint this now. And this is really interesting, because we then carry that through life later, especially as children, and then growing into adults. So the biggest thing that I really push for is helping children understand to, when you make a so-called mistake in your art, move the line, and what we call restate it, and learn the medium, and then break the rules in the medium, so that you can explore with it and see how far you can push that medium, which then changes the mindset in your child's mind. Now, I get parents who say, well, why can't my child draw now? They've been with you for 6 months, and why can't they draw properly now, like a French Impressionist artist? 6 months is not a long time at all. If you think of actually how the old Impressionists had to train, they had to train for at least 15 years as an apprentice before they were even allowed to even think that they were an apprentice. Now, it was the same with me. My training was exactly the same. And on top of that, I was practicing day and night and day and night. So if your child is only attending once a week, think about it. Once a week is 4 times in a month that they're doing an hour and a half creativity. And now you times 4 times 12. Okay, so that's telling you that how much time they actually are doing a creative activity based on the rest of their life and what is expected of them as it is. Now, once a week is at least a start. But if your children really love art and doing it more, it obviously does change the way that they start learning, processing, and adapting to things, so that they can start growing their confidence. And if they can see their confidence in one area and it's clicking into place, then they start building their confidence. And when they start building their confidence, then they start wanting to take the next step of pushing themselves out their comfort zone to try something new. And this then goes later into the world as an adult. So whether I'm working with children or adults, I see the same step over and over again. And adults are basically grown up children who've forgotten that they are not giving themselves a break on the fact that they actually are allowed to make mistakes. So I just wanted to leave that thought with you today. And when you're asking what is a confident artist, it's not about being a confident artist. It's about what is important to learn how to make those so-called mistakes. And those mistakes are just regrowing strategy to teach the brain that, you know what, it's cool. How can I find another way? How can I change this? What can I do so that we can move things in a different way when I'm approaching this next stage?